And chapter 27, this kitty. Come get some love for a minute while I do the intro here. That's not much of an intro, but so this chapter, chapter 27, a little girl and a poor, frail lady. The story of Jairus' daughter from Luke 8, which I'm looking around the big old body of Kitty here. So let's get started on that. Come over here. Thank you. Lay down. Lay down. Thank you. A little girl and a poor frail lady. Chapter 27. There was once a little girl who didn't get out of bed one morning, or the next, or the next. In fact, she didn't get out of bed for a whole month. She was very sick, and no one knew how to make her better. Jairus was her daddy, and he loved her. And one day, he was sitting by her bed, holding her hand, wishing there was something he could do. "I know," he said. He jumped up to his feet and put on his coat, kissed his daughter, ran down the steps, past the servants, out of the house, through the gates, along the road, into town, up the steps, into the temple. He fought his way through all the people until at last he found who he was looking for. Who do you think he was looking for? Here's Jairus. "Jesus," he said, falling at Jesus' feet. "My daughter," he pleaded, "please." But he didn't need to beg, because before he'd even finished speaking, Jesus reached out his hand and helped him. "I'll come at once," Jesus said. Jairus' eyes filled with tears. Jesus was coming. It would be all right. In those days, of course, they didn't have ambulances, so they had to go by foot. And the cat just punched the tripod. In those days, of course, they didn't have ambulances, so they had to go by foot. Jesus' helpers knew that he would heal the sick girl, but they must hurry. If Jesus didn't get there soon, it would be too late. But everyone was in the way, hustling and bustling, jostling and pressing, pushing and shoving, squishing and squashing. The disciples ran ahead, forcing back the crowd, and suddenly Jesus stopped. His friends looked back. What was he doing? This is one of my favorite stories in the Bible. This is two favorites, all right? This is one of my favorites in the Bible. "Who touched me?" Jesus asked, because he felt power go out of him. "Me," said a frail lady, looking down at the ground because she was ashamed. The poor lady had been sick for 12 years, and she had to get well. She knew if she only touched Jesus' coat, she would be healed. So she touched his coat, and instantly she was well. "We don't have time," Jesus' friends said. But Jesus always had time. He reached out his hands and gently lifted her head. He looked into her eyes and smiled. "You believed," he said, wiping a tear from her eye. "And now you are well." Ugh. It makes me tear up, man. That is such a, this is like a very, very, kid-friendly paraphrase, but, just the pure faith that she had that, if she even just touched his clothing, she would be healed. Oof. That is so cool. The story in the Bible is so cool. This is a really cool iteration of it. Anyway, let's go on. Right here. Just then, Jairus' servant rushed up to Jairus. "It's too late," he said breathlessly. "Your daughter is dead." Jesus turned to Jairus. "It's not too late," Jesus said. "Trust me." At Jairus' house, everyone was crying. But Jesus said, "I'm going to wake her up." Everyone laughed at him because they knew she was dead. Jesus walked into the little girl's bedroom, and there, lying in the corner, in the shadows, was the still little figure. Jesus sat. Oh, man. Jesus sat on the bed and took her pale hand. "Honey," he said, "it's time to get up." Oh, man. This is a really cool story in the Bible, too. He reached down. Freckles! What the heck are you doing? Excuse me, miss. He reached... Move your body. Oh, man. He reached down into death. I can't even... This isn't even like... Ugh. "Honey," he said, "it's time to get up." I wish I could read this straight through for you, but man, it's tough. And he reached down into death and gently brought the little girl back to life. The little girl woke up, rubbed her eyes as if she had just had a good night's sleep, and leapt out of bed. Jesus threw open the shutters, and sunlight flooded the dark room. "Hungry?" Jesus asked. And she nodded. Jesus called to her family, "Bring this little girl some breakfast." Oh, way to lighten the mood, Jesus. Thank you. Oh. Jesus helped and healed many people like this. He made blind people see, and he made deaf people hear. He made lame people walk. Jesus was making the sad things come untrue, and he was mending God's broken world. And that's the end of this chapter, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Two of my, like, this, man, this story just gets me every time. And then the way, like, the tone that you can just imagine Jesus had. Oh, man. Anyway, longer video. Brought me to tears. Sorry, I got it on the book. Thanks for watching, and I hope you're enjoying this. It's good to be back reading the Storybook Bible with you guys. I'll see you in chapter 28.